The space station floated quietly above Earth. It was built 20 years ago when aliens first came to visit. The station was huge with white walls and long corridors. People from Earth worked there alongside beings from other planets. Doyen walked through the busy hall. He was a simple maintenance worker. His job was to fix broken machines and clean the air filters. He wore a plain gray uniform with his name on the chest. At 32 years old, he was not special. He did not have a fancy job like the scientists or diplomats. He just kept things running. The hall was full of aliens today. There was a big meeting happening. Leaders from different worlds came to talk about trade and peace. Doyen tried to stay out of the way. He carried his toolbox and moved along the wall. Suddenly, everyone started talking louder. Doyen looked up. A group of tall aliens entered the hall. They had blue skin that seemed to glow softly. Their eyes were large and silver. They wore long robes made of material that changed colors. These were the Velians. They came from a planet far away. Everyone stopped to stare. The Velians were important. Their technology was hundreds of years ahead of Earth. They were peaceful but powerful. When they visited, it was a big deal. A woman walked in the center of the group. She was taller than the others. Her robe was deep purple. She moved with grace. Behind her, a small child held her hand. The child looked about 5 years old in human years. He had the same blue skin and silver eyes, but he looked scared. The child glanced around at all the people watching. He pressed closer to his mother. The woman spoke to someone, probably explaining something important, but the child was not listening. His eyes moved across the crowd. Then the child saw Doyen. Doyen did not notice at first. He was trying to reach a door on the other side. But then he felt something. It was like someone was watching him very closely. He turned his head. The alien child stared right at him. Those big silver eyes were locked on Doyen's face. The child's expression changed. His fear seemed to melt away. His mouth opened slightly in wonder. Doyen felt confused. Why was this child looking at him? He glanced behind himself. Maybe the child was looking at something else. But there was only a wall. The child suddenly let go of his mother's hand. Before anyone could react, he ran. His small feet moved quickly across the smooth floor. People gasped. The Velian woman turned in shock. The child ran straight toward Doyen. Guards moved to stop him, but the child was too fast. He dodged between legs and under reaching arms. In seconds, he reached Doyen. The child grabbed onto Doyen's leg and held tight. He pressed his face against the gray uniform. Doyen froze. His toolbox nearly fell from his hand. What was happening? Everyone in the hall stared at him now. The Velian woman hurried over. She looked worried and confused. Guards surrounded them. The woman spoke in her language. Her voice was musical but urgent. A translator device on her robe flickered to life. It spoke in English. "Young one, what are you doing? Come back to me." The child shook his head. He held Doyen tighter. He spoke in his own language. The translator picked it up. "No, this one. I choose this one." The woman's eyes went wide. She looked at Doyen, then back at her child. She said something else. The translator worked again. "You cannot choose randomly. We talked about this. Come now." But the child refused to move. He looked up at Doyen with those silver eyes. There was something in his gaze. It was not just stubbornness. It was certainty. The child seemed to recognize something in Doyen that no one else could see. Doyen did not know what to do. He looked at the woman. "I'm sorry. I don't know why he ran to me." "I didn't do anything." The woman studied Doyen carefully. She seemed to be thinking hard. Other Velians gathered around. They spoke quickly among themselves. Human officials pushed through the crowd. A man in a fancy suit arrived. He was Taehyun, one of Earth's main diplomats. He looked nervous. "What's going on here?" "Is there a problem?" The Velian woman turned to him. She spoke carefully through the translator. "My son has made a choice. It is unexpected. But among my people, when a child chooses, we must listen." Taehyun looked confused. "A choice? What kind of choice?" The woman looked back at Doyen. She seemed surprised by what she was about to say. "My child has chosen this man as his father." The hall went completely silent. Doyen's heart stopped. He must have heard wrong. Father? This child wanted him as a father? That made no sense. Taehyun's mouth opened and closed like a fish. But this is highly irregular." The woman nodded. Yes, very irregular. My son was supposed to choose among our people. We came here for the ceremony. But children see things we cannot. They feel things we have forgotten. When a Velian child chooses a parent, there is deep meaning. Doyen finally found his voice. Ma'am, I think there's been a mistake. I'm nobody. I just fix things. I live in a small apartment. I'm not father material. The child looked up at him. The boy's small hand reached up and touched Doyen's hand. The touch was warm. Doyen felt something strange in his chest. It was like a door opening inside him. The woman spoke gently. My people have a gift. We sense the heart of others. Children sense it strongest. They see past appearance and status. They see what truly matters. She paused. My son has lost his father. He died 1 year ago. Since then, my son has been silent and afraid. He would not let anyone close. Not even me at times, but now he runs to you. He speaks. He smiles. Doyen looked down. The child was indeed smiling. It was a small smile, but it was real. The boy's eyes were bright with hope. I don't understand, Doyen whispered. The woman stepped closer. Neither do I yet. But I trust my son. Something in you calls to him. Something good and strong and safe. Will you speak with us? Will you let us understand why he has chosen you? Doyen looked around. Everyone waited for his answer. His simple life was about to become very complicated. He could say no. He could walk away. But when he looked down at the small alien child holding his hand, he could not do it. Yes, Doyen said quietly. I'll talk with you. The child's smile grew wider. They sat in a quiet meeting room. The walls were soft blue. A window showed the curve of earth below. Doyen sat on one side of the table. The Velian woman sat across from him. The child sat between them, but closer to Doyen. He had not let go of Doyen's hand. The woman introduced herself. Her name was difficult to pronounce. The translator said it as Lyra. She was a leader among her people. She came to Earth to strengthen the friendship between their worlds. Her son's name was Hanul. The translator said this was the closest Earth name to his real one. Thank you for agreeing to speak, Lyra said. Her voice was calm, but there was emotion in it. This situation is strange for everyone. But please understand how important it is. In my culture, a child's choice of parent is sacred. Doyen shifted in his seat. He felt out of place. I still don't understand why he chose me. I was just walking by. We never met before, Lyra nodded. It does seem random to you. But my people believe differently. We believe children can sense a person's soul. They feel emotions and intentions that adults miss. When my people reach the choosing age, they select who will guide them into adulthood. Usually they choose family members or teachers. But sometimes they choose strangers. When that happens, there is always a reason. Hanul squeezed Doyen's hand. The child looked content. He seemed relaxed for the first time since entering the station. What happened to his father? Doyen asked carefully. Lyra's glow dimmed slightly. It was like a cloud passing over the sun. He was sick. We have good medicine, but some illnesses still cannot be cured. He fought for many months. Hanul was with him at the end. After that, Hanul stopped talking. He stopped playing. He was afraid all the time. I tried everything. Our best healers tried. Nothing worked. She looked at her son with love and sadness. I thought bringing him here would help. New places, new experiences. I never expected this. Doyen looked at the small boy. Hanul's silver eyes watched him back. There was trust in that gaze. Complete trust? Doyen felt the weight of it. What happens now, he asked. That depends on you, Lyra said. If you accept, you would become Hanul's bonded father. Not by law or blood, but by choice and heart. You would be part of his life. You would guide him. Teach him. Be there when he needs you. Doyen's throat felt tight. I don't know how to be a father. I've never even thought about having kids. I work long hours. I barely have time for myself. Being a father is not about time or knowledge, Lyra said softly. It is about presence, about caring, about showing up when needed. Something in you has these qualities. Hanul feels it. Doyen was quiet for a long moment. He thought about his life. He woke up, went to work, came home, slept, and repeated. He had no family nearby. His parents died years ago. He had friends, but not many close ones. His life was simple and alone. Maybe that was why this felt so strange. Someone needed him. This small alien child looked at him and saw something worth holding on to. I need to think, Doyen said finally. Lyra nodded. Of course. This is a big decision. Take time. But when Doyen tried to stand, Hanul held his hand tighter. The child made a small sound of distress. His eyes went wide with worry. He thinks you're leaving forever, Lyra said quietly. Doyen knelt down so he was at Hanul's level. He spoke slowly and clearly. I'm not leaving forever. I just need time to think. I'll come back. I promise. Hanul stared at him. The child seemed to understand even before the translator spoke. Slowly, Hanul let go of his hand, but his eyes stayed on Doyen's face. Doyen stood and walked to the door. He paused and looked back. Hanul watched him with hope and fear mixed together. Doyen felt something crack inside his chest. He nodded to the child and left. For the next 3 days, Doyen could not stop thinking. He went to work, but his mind wandered. He fixed an air filter and thought about Silver Eyes. He cleaned a coolant line and remembered a small hand in his. At night, he lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. He talked to his friend Minho. They sat in the station's cafeteria. Minho was a cargo handler. He was loud and friendly. So an alien kid wants you to be his dad? Minho said. He was eating noodles. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. I know, Doyen said. What are you going to do? I don't know. Minho slurped his noodles. Do you like the kid? Doyen thought about it. I only met him once, but yes, there was something about him. He looked at me like I was important. Like I mattered. No one's looked at me like that in a long time. Then maybe you should do it, Minho said simply. It's not that easy. Why not? You don't have family. You don't have a wife or girlfriend. You work all day because you have nothing else to do. Maybe this kid is what you need. Maybe you're what he needs too. Doyen stared at his food. Minho was right. His life was empty. He had freedom. But what was freedom when you had nothing to do with it? This child offered him purpose, meaning, connection. But it was scary. What if he failed? What if he was not good enough? What if he let Hanul down? On the 4th day, Doyen received a message. It was from Lyra. She asked if he had made a decision. The Valian delegation was leaving soon. They needed to know. Doyen stood in his apartment. It was small and clean. Everything had its place. Everything was organized. Everything was alone. He looked around and realized he could not remember the last time someone else had been here. He thought about Hanul's smile. That small moment of joy when the child felt safe. Doyen wanted to see that again. He wanted to be the reason for it. He sent his answer. The next morning, Doyen returned to the meeting room. Lyra was there. Hanul was there too. When the child saw Doyen, he jumped up. His face lit with happiness. He ran to Doyen and hugged his legs. Doyen reached down and put his hand on Hanul's head. The blue skin was warm under his palm. Hello, Hanul. The child looked up at him and spoke in his language. The translator said, You came back. I promised I would, Doyen said. He looked at Lyra. I accept. I'll be his father. I don't know if I'll be good at it. But I'll try my best. Lyra's glow brightened. She stood and came around the table. She placed her hand on Doyen's shoulder. That is all anyone can ask. Trying your best is enough. She explained what would happen next. There would be a ceremony. It was simple but meaningful. Doyen would make a promise to Hanul. Hanul would give him a gift. They would be bonded. Will he stay with me? Doyen asked. Or will he go back with you? That is complicated, Lyra said. I must return to my world. I have duties. But Hanul will stay here for now. He will live with you. I will visit when I can. In our culture, the chosen parent raises the child. I will always be his mother by birth, but you are his father by choice. Both are important. Doyen felt nervous again. Raising a child alone? An alien child? But when he looked down at Hanul's happy face, the nervousness faded. He could do this. He would do this. When is the ceremony? He asked. Tomorrow, Lyra said. We will make it official. Hanul squeezed Doyen's hand. The child was smiling. For the first time in a year, he looked truly happy. And for the first time in years, so did Doyen. The ceremony room was beautiful. The walls showed images of space. Stars twinkled. Nebulas swirled in colors Doyen had no names for. Soft music played. It sounded like wind through crystal. Only a few people attended. Minho was there to support Doyen. A few Velian officials stood near Lyra. Taehyun represented Earth's government. It was small and quiet. Exactly right. Doyen wore his best clothes. It was just a clean shirt and dark pants. Nothing fancy. But Hanul looked at him like he wore a king's robes. The child stood beside his mother. He wore a white robe that seemed to glow. Lyra spoke first. Her voice filled the room. The translator shared her words. We gather to witness a bond. This is not common between our peoples, but it is right. Hanul has chosen. Doyen has accepted. Today they become family. She gestured for Doyen to come forward. He walked across the room. His heart beat fast. When he stood before them, Lyra smiled gently. Doyen of Earth, do you promise to care for this child? To guide him and protect him? To be there in joy and in sorrow? To show him what it means to be strong and kind? Doyen looked at Hanul. The child watched him with those big silver eyes. So much hope lived in that gaze. I promise, Doyen said. His voice was steady. Lyra turned to her son. Hanul, do you choose this man freely? Do you trust him with your heart? Hanul nodded. He spoke clearly in his language. I choose him. He is my father now. Lyra placed Hanul's small hand in Doyen's larger one. Then it is done. You are bonded. Hanul, give your gift. Hanul reached into his robe. He pulled out something small. It was a stone. It glowed with soft blue light. The child held it up to Doyen. This was my father's, Hanul said through the translator. Now it is yours. It means you are my family. Doyen took the stone carefully. It was warm. The light pulsed gently like a heartbeat. He felt emotion rise in his throat. This child was giving him something precious, something that connected him to a man he never met, a man who Hanul loved deeply. I'll treasure it, Doyen said. Thank you, Hanul. The child smiled. Then he stepped forward and hugged Doyen. Doyen hesitated for only a moment before hugging back. The child felt small and warm in his arms, fragile but trusting. The Valians present began to hum. It was their way of celebrating. The sound was beautiful. It vibrated in Doyen's chest. Minho clapped. Even Taehyun looked moved. When the ceremony ended, there was food. The Valians brought dishes from their world. Doyen tried things he could not name. Some were sweet, some were strange. Hanul sat beside him the whole time. The child ate quietly but kept glancing at Doyen, making sure he was still there. Later, Lyra spoke with Doyen privately. They stood by the window. Earth turned slowly below them. I must leave tomorrow, she said. My people need me, but I want to thank you. You have given my son something I could not. Hope. He has been lost in grief, but when he looks at you, he sees a future again. I'll take care of him, Doyen said. I promise. I know you will. Lyra paused. Raising a Velian child is different from human children. We mature differently. Hanul is young, but he understands much. He will learn quickly. He will need education about both our worlds. I'll figure it out, Doyen said. He felt nervous but determined. Lyra smiled. You will. And I will help when I can. I will send teachers through your communication systems. I will visit every few months. You are not alone in this. That made Doyen feel better. He was not completely on his own. The next day, Lyra prepared to leave. Her ship waited at the docking bay. It was sleek and silver. Beautiful. Hanul stood with Doyen. The child held his hand tightly. Lyra knelt before her son. She spoke to him in their language. Doyen's translator picked up some of it. She told Hanul to be good, to learn to be brave. She told him she loved him. She would always be his mother. Hanul hugged her. Tears rolled down his blue cheeks. He did not want her to go, but he understood she had to. Lyra stood and looked at Doyen. Take care of each other. We will, Doyen said. She touched his cheek gently. You are a good man. Trust yourself. Then she boarded her ship. The doors closed. The engines hummed. The ship lifted and moved away. It slipped out of the docking bay and into the black of space. In moments it was gone. Hanul watched until the ship vanished. Then he looked up at Doyen. His eyes were wet, but he was not crying anymore. Home? The child asked. Doyen squeezed his hand. Yes, let's go home. Doyen's apartment felt different with Hanul there. It was no longer quiet and empty. There was life now. Sound. Movement. The first few days were strange. Doyen did not know what to do. Hanul was quiet. He explored the apartment carefully. He touched things gently. He looked out the window at the stars for hours. Doyen tried to make him comfortable. He cleared out a room for Hanul. It was small but nice. He put a bed there. He added soft blankets. He put up lights that looked like stars. Hanul seemed to like it. Eating was interesting. Hanul could eat human food, but he did not like everything. He liked fruit. He liked rice. He did not like meat much. Doyen learned as they went. He cooked simple meals. Sometimes Hanul helped. The child was careful and focused when he worked. At night, Hanul had bad dreams. Doyen would wake to crying. He would go to Hanul's room. The child would be sitting up in bed, shaking. Doyen learned to sit with him, to hold him until the fear passed. He did not say much. He just stayed. That seemed to be enough. Slowly, Hanul began to talk more. He asked questions about Earth, about humans, about Doyen's work. His voice was soft but curious. Why do you fix machines? Hanul asked one day. They were eating breakfast. Doyen was making eggs. Someone has to, Doyen said. Machines break. If no one fixes them, everything stops working. Is it important? Hanul asked. Yes, it's not glamorous, but it matters. Every job matters if it helps people. Hanul thought about that. My mother says you have a good heart. She says that is why I chose you. Doyen felt warmth in his chest. I try to be good. I don't always succeed, but I try. That is what matters, Hanul said seriously. Trying. Doyen smiled. This child was wise beyond his years. Work became complicated. Doyen could not leave Hanul alone. The station had a school for children. Human and alien kids learned together. Doyen enrolled Hanul. He was nervous about it. Would the other children accept him? Would he make friends? On the first day, Doyen walked Hanul to the classroom. The teacher was a kind woman named Yeri. She welcomed Hanul warmly. Other children stared. A blue alien child was not something they saw every day. Go on, Doyen said gently. I'll pick you up later. Hanul looked scared. He held Doyen's hand tight. Doyen knelt down. You can do this. You're brave, and if you need me, I'm just a call away. Hanul nodded slowly. He let go and walked into the classroom. He did not look back. Doyen's heart ached watching him go. But when Doyen picked him up that afternoon, Hanul was smiling. A human girl named Gina had talked to him. She thought his blue skin was pretty. Another boy named Quan asked about his planet. Hanul had answered questions all day. He was tired but happy. I made friends, Hanul said proudly. Doyen felt his chest swell with emotion. That's wonderful. They walked home together. Hanul talked about his day, about the things he learned, about the games they played. Doyen listened to every word. That night, as Doyen tucked Hanul into bed, the child looked at him seriously. I'm glad I chose you, Hanul said. Doyen's throat felt tight. I'm glad you did too. You are a good father. I'm trying to be. Hanul smiled. That is enough. Then he closed his eyes and slept peacefully. No nightmares that night. Doyen stood in the doorway for a long time. He watched the child sleep. His life had changed completely. It was harder now, more complicated, but it was also fuller, richer, meaningful. He was a father now, and somehow that felt right. 3 months passed. Life found a rhythm. Doyen woke early. He made breakfast. He walked Hanul to school. He went to work. He picked Hanul up. They came home. They ate dinner. They talked. They went to bed, simple, comfortable, good. But not everything was easy. One day, Doyen got called to the station commander's office. Commander Park was a strict man. He ran the station with firm rules. Doyen had never been called to see him before. He felt nervous. Sit down, Park said. His office was neat and organized. Metal desk. Computer screens. Earth flag on the wall. Doyen sat. I understand you have taken in the Velian child, Park said. He did not sound angry, just serious. Yes, sir. His name is Hanul. How is that working out? Good, sir. He goes to school. He's adjusting well. Park nodded. I'm glad to hear it. However, there are some concerns. Some officials worry about the precedent this sets, an alien child being raised by a human, on our station. There are questions about protocol, about culture, about long-term implications. Doyen's stomach sank. Are you telling me I have to give him up? No, Park said firmly. I am not saying that. The bond ceremony was legitimate. What I am saying is that you need to be careful. People are watching, both humans and aliens. How this goes will affect future interactions between species. You represent more than just yourself now. Doyen had not thought about it that way. He just wanted to be a good father. But Park was right. This was bigger than one man and one child. I understand, Doyen said. I believe you do. Park's expression softened slightly. For what it is worth, I think you are doing a good job. The reports from the school are positive. Hanul is thriving. Keep doing what you are doing. Just be aware of the bigger picture. Doyen left the office feeling heavy. He had not realized how much pressure was on him. On Hanul, they were not just father and son. They were symbols, examples. That was a lot to carry. That evening, Minho visited. He brought food from the cafeteria. They sat at Doyen's small table. Hanul was in his room doing homework. You look stressed, Minho said. He bit into a sandwich. Park called me in today. Told me people are watching us, judging us. Minho shrugged. Let them watch. You are doing fine. The kid is happy. That is what matters. But what if I mess up? What if I do something wrong and it causes problems? You will mess up, Minho said bluntly. All parents do. But you will fix it and keep going. That is what being a parent is. Doyen sighed. I never thought about being a symbol. I just wanted to help Hanul. Then keep focusing on that. The rest does not matter. Before Doyen could respond, Hanul came out. He had finished his homework. He looked at Minho and gave a small wave. Then he went to Doyen and stood close. Can we do stargazing tonight? Hanul asked. They had started a routine. Some nights they would sit by the window and look at the stars. Hanul would tell stories about his homeworld. Doyen would share Earth legends. Of course, Doyen said. He felt his stress fade. This was what mattered. These small moments. Later that week, something happened at school. Doyen got a call from Yeri, the teacher. She asked him to come in. He arrived to find Hanul sitting outside the classroom. The child looked upset. His glow was dim. What happened? Doyen asked Yeri. She looked concerned. There was an incident. Some older boys were teasing Hanul, calling him names, saying he did not belong here. Hanul did not respond. But then one of them pushed him. Hanul pushed back. Hard. The boy fell and got hurt. Doyen's heart sank. He looked at Hanul. The child would not meet his eyes. Is the other boy okay? Doyen asked. Yes, just bruised. But we have rules about fighting. I need you to take Hanul home today. We will talk about consequences tomorrow. Doyen nodded. He took Hanul's hand and they left. They walked in silence. When they got home, Doyen sat Hanul down. Tell me what happened, Doyen said calmly. Hanul looked at his hands. They said I was strange. They said I should go back to my planet. They said I did not belong with humans. Then one pushed me. I got angry. I pushed him back. I did not mean to hurt him, but I am stronger than I look. Doyen listened carefully. He understood. Hanul had been bullied. He defended himself. But he also hurt someone. You are stronger than human children, Doyen said. That means you have to be more careful. Do you understand? Hanul nodded miserably. But I also understand why you were angry. Those boys were wrong. You do belong here. This is your home now. However, fighting is not the answer. Next time you walk away, you tell a teacher. You do not push back. What if they do not stop? Hanul asked. Then we deal with it together. You are not alone. You have me. You have Yeri. You have friends. We will protect you. But you have to trust us and not fight. Hanul was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. I am sorry, I know. And tomorrow you will apologize to that boy. Even though he was wrong first, you still hurt him. That requires an apology. Okay, Hanul whispered. Doyen pulled him into a hug. I am not angry with you. I understand. But we learn from this, okay? Hanul hugged him back tightly. Okay. The next day, Doyen went with Hanul to school. Hanul apologized to the boy he pushed. The boy apologized too. Yeri talked to both groups of children about kindness and differences. It was handled well. But the incident made Doyen realize something. Raising Hanul was not just about food and shelter and homework. It was about teaching him how to live in a world that did not always understand him, how to be strong without being aggressive, how to be different without being isolated. That night, Doyen and Hanul sat by the window. Stars filled the black outside. Do you regret choosing me? Doyen asked quietly. Hanul looked at him in surprise. No, never. Why do you ask? Because life here is hard sometimes. People judge you. They do not always understand. Maybe you would have been happier with someone else. Someone from your world. Hanul shook his head firmly. You do not understand. I chose you because of who you are, not because life would be easy. I chose you because you make me feel safe, because you try to understand, because you care. He paused. My real father taught me something before he died. He said home is not a place. It is a person. Someone who sees you and loves you anyway. You are my home now. Doyen felt tears in his eyes. He pulled Hanul close. You are my home too. I did not know I needed you until you chose me. My life was empty before. Now it is full. They sat together in comfortable silence. Outside, the universe stretched forever. Inside, they had each other. That was enough. The months continued. Lyra visited as promised. She came every few months. Each time, Hanul was excited to see her. They would talk for hours in their language. She would check on his education. She would bring gifts and news from their home world. But when it was time for her to leave, Hanul no longer cried. He hugged her goodbye and returned to Doyun, because Doyun was home now. One evening, Lyra spoke with Doyen while Hanul slept. He has changed so much, she said. Her glow was bright with happiness. When I first brought him here, he was broken. Now he is healing. That is because of you. I just try to be there for him, Doyen said. That is everything, Lyra said. You know, when Hanul first chose you, I was confused. I did not understand why a child would choose a stranger. A human, someone so different. But now I see it. You have the quality that matters most. You have heart. You have patience. You have kindness. Those things cross all boundaries. Doyen felt humbled. I am learning as I go. Some days I feel lost. All parents feel that way. But you always find your way back. That is what makes you good at this. As Lyra prepared to leave again, she gave Doyen something. It was a communicator. A special one, if you ever need advice. If you ever have questions. Use this, it connects directly to me, day or night. I am always here. Doyen took it gratefully. Thank you, she smiled. No, thank you. You gave my son a future. That is a debt I can never repay. After she left, Doyen checked on Hanul. The child was sleeping peacefully. His blue skin glowed softly in the dim light. He looked content. Safe. Doyun thought about the past few months. The challenges. The joys, the fear. The love. It had been the hardest thing he ever did, but also the best. He was a father now, not by blood, not by law, but by choice, by heart, and that made all the difference. A year passed. Hanul had changed. He was taller now. His silver eyes were brighter. He laughed more. He had real friends. Gina and Kwan spent time at their apartment. They did homework together. They played games. They were just normal kids. Doyen had changed too. He smiled more. He felt purpose in his days. When he woke up, he had someone to care for. When he came home, someone was waiting. His apartment felt like a real home now. There were drawings on the walls. Toys in corners. Books stacked by the window. It was messy and lived in and perfect. But challenges still came. One day, a Velian ship arrived at the station. It was not Lyra's ship. Different officials came. They requested a meeting with Doyen and Hanul. The message sounded formal, cold. Doyen felt worried. They went to the meeting together. Hanul held his hand. 3 Velian officials sat in the conference room. They wore dark robes. Their expressions were serious. One of them, a tall male named Varen, spoke first. We have come to evaluate the arrangement between you and the child, Varen said. His translator made his voice sound harsh. There are concerns among our people. A child of our world being raised by a human, living on a human station, learning human ways. Some believe this is wrong. Doyen's heart beat faster. Hanul is happy here. He is healthy. He is learning and growing. That may be, another official said. Her name was Neela, but he is Valian. He should be raised among our people. He should learn our traditions, our values, our way of life. How can you teach him these things? Hanul spoke up. His voice was small but firm. Doyen is my father. I chose him. That is our tradition. You were a traumatized child, Varen said. Not unkindly, but firmly. You made an emotional choice. Now you are older. You should reconsider. Come home with us. Be with your people. Hanul shook his head. This is my home. Doyen is my people now. The officials looked at each other. They seemed displeased. We cannot force you, Nyla said. The choosing bond is sacred. But we want to understand. Human, why did you accept this burden? What do you gain from raising an alien child? Doyen was quiet for a moment. He thought about the question. What did he gain? I gain everything, he said finally. Before Hanul, I had a job. I had a place to sleep. But I did not have a life. I did not have purpose. I was alone. Hanul gave me a reason to be better, to do better. He gave me family, love, hope. Those things are worth more than anything. But what about him? The third official asked. His name was Torin. What does he gain? You cannot teach him our technology, our philosophy, our history. No, Doyen agreed. I cannot. But I can teach him other things. I teach him kindness, courage, how to face fear, how to stand up for what is right, how to live with people who are different, how to build bridges instead of walls. These lessons matter too. Varen studied Doyen carefully. You speak well, but words are easy. We wish to observe. We will stay on the station for 1 week. We will watch how you live, how you parent. Then we will make our report to our council. Doyen's stomach churned. They were being judged, evaluated, but he nodded. That is fair. The next week was tense. The Velian officials were always nearby. They watched Doyen and Hanul at home. They observed at school. They asked questions. They took notes. Doyen tried to act normal, but it was hard knowing every action was being judged. Hanul felt it too. He was quieter than usual, more careful. One evening, Doyen was cooking dinner. Hanul was at the table doing homework. Varen was sitting in their living room observing. Doyen tried to ignore him. Doyen, I do not understand this math problem, Hanul said. Doyen came over. He looked at the paper. It was algebra, not his strength. He sat down and worked through it with Hanul. It took time. He made mistakes, but together they figured it out. There, Doyen said, see? You had the right idea. You just needed to rearrange the equation. Hanul smiled. Thank you. From his seat, Varen spoke. You struggled with that. Doyen looked over. Yes, math is not my best subject, but I try. A Velian parent would have known the answer immediately. Probably, Doyen agreed, but sometimes figuring it out together teaches more than just getting the answer. Varen tilted his head, considering. Another day, they went to the park area of the station. It was a large space with plants and open air. Children played there. Hanul ran off to play with Gina and Quan. Neela followed to observe. Doyen sat on a bench. He watched Hanul play. The children were playing tag. Hanul was faster than the humans. He had to be careful not to run too fast, not to use his full strength. But he was laughing, having fun. Then a new child approached. A boy Doyen had not seen before. He was older, bigger. He said something to Hanul. Doyen could not hear what, but Hanul's glow dimmed. The boy laughed and pushed Hanul. Doyen stood up. He started walking over. But before he got there, Hanul did something surprising. He did not push back. He did not run. He stood tall and spoke to the boy, calm but firm. The boy looked surprised. He said something else. Hanul responded. Then Quan and Gina stepped up beside Hanul, supporting him. The three children faced the bully together. The bigger boy looked around. Other children were watching. Adults were watching. He backed down. He walked away. Hanul and his friends high-fived. They went back to playing. Doyen sat back down. His heart was proud. Nyla sat beside him. You did not intervene. He did not need me to, Doyen said. He handled it himself. That is what I have been teaching him. To be strong, to stand up for himself, but to not use violence. He learned. Nyla watched Hanul play. He has human friends. Yes. Does he have Velian friends? There are not many Velian children on the station. But when he talks to his mother, she connects him with children on their home world through video. He has friends there too. You make sure he stays connected to our culture? I try. I'm not Velian. I cannot give him everything his birth culture offers, but I make sure he knows where he comes from. He learns the history, the language, The traditions. I never want him to forget who he is. Nyla was quiet. Then she said, "That is good." On the 5th day, Torin asked to speak with Hanul alone. Doyen did not like it, but he agreed. They spoke in another room for a long time. When Hanul came out, he looked tired but okay. "What did he ask you?" Doyen asked later. "If I was happy. If I missed home. If I wanted to go back. If you treated me well." Hanul paused. I told him the truth. "I'm happy. I do miss my planet sometimes, but this is my home now, and you are the best father I could ask for." Doyen hugged him close. "Thank you." On the last day, the officials called a final meeting. Doyen and Hanul sat across from them. This was it, the moment of judgment. Varen spoke. "We have observed carefully. We have concerns still. You are not Velian. You cannot give this child everything our people could. Your home is small. Your resources limited. You are one person doing the work of a community." Doyen's heart sank. They were going to take Hanul. But then Varen continued. "However, we also see something valuable. You love this child, not because you have to, not because of duty or obligation, but because you choose to, every day. You make sacrifices. You learn, you adapt, you try. That means something." Nyla spoke next. "The child is thriving. He is well adjusted. He has identity in both worlds. He is confident, happy, healthy. These things matter most." Torin added, "And he defends his choice. Firmly. He knows his mind. That is a sign of good parenting." Varen looked directly at Doyen. "We will report that the arrangement is acceptable. Hanul may stay with you, but we have conditions. He must continue his Velian education through remote learning. He must visit his homeworld once a year. He must maintain connection to our people." "I agree," Doyen said quickly. "Anything he needs." Varen almost smiled. "You are not what we expected, human. We thought you would be insufficient. But you are sufficient where it counts." In the heart, relief flooded through Doyen. Hanul grabbed his hand and squeezed. After the officials left, Hanul looked at Doyen. "Were you scared?" "Terrified," Doyen admitted. "I thought they would take you away." "I would not have gone," Hanul said firmly. "You are my father. No one can change that." Doyen pulled him into a hug. "We are family, forever." "Forever," Hanul agreed. That night they celebrated. Minho came over. Hiri stopped by. Gina and Quan visited. They had cake. They played games. They laughed. As Doyen looked around at everyone, he felt overwhelming gratitude. A year ago he had nothing. Now he had everything. Family, friends, purpose, joy. Hanul caught his eye and smiled. That smile said everything. "We made it. We are together. We are okay." And they were. They really were. 2 years had passed since Hanul chose Doyen. The child was growing fast. He was now 8 in human years, though Velians matured differently. He was smart, curious, kind. Everything Doyen hoped he would be. Life had found its balance. Doyen still worked as a maintenance engineer, but he had been promoted. He now led a small team. Better pay meant a bigger apartment. More space for Hanul. A real bedroom. A study area. Room to grow. Hanul excelled at school. He was top of his class in science and mathematics. His Velian brain processed information quickly. But he also loved art. He painted pictures of his homeworld, of Earth, of the family he had found. His paintings hung throughout their apartment. One day something unexpected happened. Doyen was at work when he got an emergency call. It was from the school. Hanul was sick, very sick. Doyen dropped everything and ran. When he reached the medical bay, Hanul was lying on a bed. His blue skin had turned pale. His glow was almost gone. He looked weak. "What happened?" Doyen asked the doctor. Her name was Somin. She specialized in alien medicine. "We are not sure," Somin said. She looked worried. "He collapsed during class. His temperature is extremely high. His energy levels are dropping. I have never seen this in a Velian before." Doyen felt panic rise. "What can we do? I am treating the symptoms, but I need to contact his people. They will know more about Velian illnesses." Doyen sat beside Hanul. He took the child's hand. It was burning hot. "Hanul, can you hear me?" Hanul's eyes opened slightly. "Doyen," he whispered, "I do not feel good." "I know. We are going to fix this." Just hold on. Someone contacted the Velian Council. Within hours, Lyra arrived. She came on the fastest ship available. When she entered the medical bay, her expression was tight with worry. "Hanul," she breathed. She rushed to his side. She spoke to him in their language. Her hands glowed as she touched him. She was checking something, reading his energy. Her glow dimmed with concern. She turned to Soman. "This is soul fever. It is rare but serious. It happens when a Velian child feels disconnected from their core identity. When they are torn between two worlds." Doyen's chest tightened. "I caused this? By raising him here?" "No," Lyra said firmly. "This is not your fault. Hannah loves you. He is happy here. But he is also Velian. Part of him misses home, misses being among our people. The conflict inside him manifested as illness. How do we cure it?" Doyen asked desperately. "He needs to reconnect, to remember who he is completely, both human and Velian. Both parts must be in harmony." "Tell me what to do," Doyen said. Lyra looked at him with sad eyes. "He needs to go home. To our world, for a time to heal, to find balance." Doyen felt like the floor dropped away. For how long? Months? Maybe a year? Doyen looked at Hanul. The child was sleeping now. He looked so small, so fragile. The thought of being apart from him was agony. But the thought of him being sick was worse. "If that is what he needs," Doyen said quietly, "then he should go." Lyra touched his shoulder. "You can come too. Both of you. Come to our world. Stay with us while he heals. We have a place for you." Doyen hesitated. Leave the station? Leave his job, his life? But then he looked at Hanul again. None of that mattered. Only Hanul mattered. "Yes," Doyen said. "We will go together." 3 days later, they boarded a Velian ship. Hanul was stable but still weak. Lyra had given him medicine to help. But he needed more. He needed home. The journey took a week. Doyen had never left the solar system before. Looking out the window at unfamiliar stars was strange, exciting, terrifying. But Hanul was with him. That was what mattered. When they arrived at the Velian homeworld, Doyen was stunned. The planet was beautiful, blue and silver. Cities that glowed like jewels, nature that seemed alive with light. Everything pulsed with energy. They landed at a settlement near the capital. Lyra's home was there. It was elegant, made of materials that seemed to shift and change. Inside, everything was comfortable, warm, welcoming. Hanul was taken to healers immediately. They worked on him for hours. When they finished, they said he would recover. But he needed time, peace, connection to his world. Doyen stayed by Hanul's side. The child slept most of the first few days. But slowly his color returned. His glow grew brighter. The planet was healing him. As Hanul recovered, Doyen explored. Lyra showed him around. The Velian people were kind, curious about the human who raised one of their children. They asked questions. Doyen answered honestly. Some were skeptical. Others were welcoming. One elder named Kiro spoke with Doyen. They sat in a garden that glowed under the alien sun. "You gave up much to come here," Kiro said. His voice was deep and thoughtful. "I gave up nothing that matters," Doyen said. "Hanul is my son. Where he needs to be, I will be. Not all parents would do this. Not all humans would leave their world for an alien child." "Then they do not understand what it means to be a parent," Doyen said simply. Kiro studied him. "You are an unusual human. You have the heart of a Velian." "That is rare," Doyen smiled. "Hanul tells me the same thing." After 2 weeks, Hanul was strong enough to leave his bed. He walked outside for the first time since arriving. When he stepped into the garden and felt the sun of his home world, he cried. But they were happy tears. "I forgot how beautiful it is," Hanul said. "I forgot the feeling." Doyen stood beside him. "I am glad you remember now." Over the next weeks, Hanul reconnected with his culture. He visited sacred places. He met with teachers who instructed him in Velian history and philosophy. He played with other Velian children. He laughed and ran and glowed brightly. But every night he came back to Doyen. They would sit together and talk about the day. Hanul would teach Doyen what he learned. Doyen would share observations about this new world. They were learning together. One evening, Hanul asked, "Do you like it here?" Doyen thought about it. "It is different, beautiful, your people are kind. But it is not home for me." "Because you are human?" "Partly, but mostly because home is not a place. Remember, you taught me that." Home is where the people you love are. You are my home, Hanul smiled. You are mine too. But Doyen, I think I need both. I need you, but I also need this. My world, my people. Can I have both? Of course you can, Doyen said. You should have both. We will figure it out. They stayed on the Velian world for 4 months. By the end, Hanul was completely healed. His energy was strong. His identity was whole. He knew who he was, Velian and human, child of 2 worlds. Before they left, Lyra hosted a gathering. Many Velians came. They wanted to honor Doyen, to thank him for caring for one of their children, for loving him enough to bring him home when he needed it. Kiro spoke to the crowd. This human showed us something important. Love crosses all boundaries. Species, planets, cultures. He proved that family is not about blood or origin. It is about choice, about commitment, about showing up when needed. Doyen of Earth is Velian in spirit. We welcome him as one of our own. The Velians hummed their approval. Doyen felt tears in his eyes. He never expected this acceptance, belonging, from people so different from him. After the gathering, Lyra gave him a gift. It was a crystal pendant. It glowed with soft blue light. This marks you as family, she said. Wherever you go in Velian space, you will be recognized, protected, welcomed. You are one of us now. Doyen did not know what to say. Thank you. This means more than you know. Thank you, Lyra said, for loving my son, for being the father he needed, for bringing him home when he was sick. You did not have to, but you did. That is the mark of true family. When they boarded the ship to return to Earth, Hanul was different, stronger, more confident. He carried himself with pride. Pride in both his identities, human and Velian. He did not have to choose anymore. He could be both. As the ship left the atmosphere, Hanul looked back at his home world. Then he looked at Doyen. I am ready to go home now. To the station? Doyen asked. Yes, our home, where we belong together. Doyen put his arm around Hanul's shoulders. Let us go home. The journey back felt different, lighter. They had faced a challenge and overcome it. They had proven that their bond was strong enough to handle anything. Distance, illness, doubt. Their family could survive it all. When they arrived at the station, their friends were waiting. Minho, Hyeri, Gina, Quan, even Commander Park. They cheered when Doyen and Hanul walked off the ship. Welcome home, Minho said. He pulled them both into a hug. And it was home. Their apartment. The station. The friends. The life they built together. This was where they belonged. That night, as Hanul settled into his own bed, he looked at Doyen. Thank you for taking me to my planet. For staying with me there. Always, Doyen said. Wherever you need to go, I will go too. We are family. Forever, Hanul said. Forever, Doyen agreed. He turned off the light and stood in the doorway, watching his son sleep, grateful, blessed, complete. He was a father, to a child from another world, and somehow that was the most human thing he had ever done. 5 years had passed since that first day. Hanul was now 13 in human years. He was no longer a small child. He was taller. His voice was changing. He was becoming a young man, but he still held Doyen's hand sometimes when they walked together. Life had continued its rhythm. School, work, friends, family. Simple things that made life meaningful. But everything was about to change again. One evening, Doyen got a message. It was from Commander Park. The message was brief. Come to my office immediately. Bring Hanul. Doyen felt nervous. They had done nothing wrong, but urgent summons were never good. He collected Hanul from his room. They walked to the commander's office together. When they entered, Park was not alone. Taehyun was there. So were several other officials. Human and alien. The room felt tense. Sit down, Park said. His expression was serious. They sat. Doyen held Hanul's hand under the table. Park spoke carefully. A situation has developed. The Velian Council has made a request. They want Hanul to return to their world. Permanently. Doyen's heart stopped. What? Why? Taehyun answered. Hanul is reaching an important age. In Velian culture, teenagers undergo special training. Leadership training, cultural immersion. It lasts several years. The council believes Hanul should participate, that he should be with his people for this crucial time. Does Lyra know about this? Doyen asked. She does. She supports it. She believes it is in Hanul's best interest. Doyen looked at Hanul. The boy was quiet. His expression was unreadable. What does Hanul want? Doyen asked. All the officials looked at the boy. Hanul was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke. I do not know, he said honestly. Part of me wants to go, to learn, to be with my people, but part of me wants to stay. This is my home. Doyen is my father. I do not want to leave him. One of the alien officials spoke. The training is important. It shapes who you become, what you contribute to society. Without it, you will always be incomplete. But if he goes, Doyen said, his voice shaking, when does he come back? Park answered. Not for 4 years. Maybe longer. The training is intensive. Visits would be rare. 4 years. Doyen felt sick. 4 years without Hanul. 4 years of empty apartment. Of silence. Of loneliness. He had lived that way before. But now he knew better. Now he knew what it was like to have family. Going back to emptiness would destroy him. But he looked at Hanul. Really looked at him. And he saw the conflict in those silver eyes. Hanul wanted to go. He was just afraid to say it. Afraid to hurt Doyen. Doyen made a decision. It was the hardest decision of his life. Hanul, he said gently, if you want to go, you should go. I will not stop you. I will not guilt you. This is your life, your choice. I want you to have every opportunity, even if it means being apart. Hanul's eyes filled with tears. But I will miss you. So much. I will miss you too. Every day. But missing each other is a small price to pay for you to become who you are meant to be. I love you enough to let you go. Hanul broke down crying. He stood and hugged Doyen tightly. Doyen held him. His own tears fell silently. I do want to go, Hanul whispered. But I also want to stay. I am torn. I know, Doyen said. But one day you will be an adult. You will have to bridge 2 worlds. You will have responsibilities to both humans and Velians. This training will prepare you. It will make you stronger. Better equipped. You should do it. They held each other for a long time. The officials gave them space. Waited quietly. Finally, Hanul pulled back. He wiped his eyes. He looked at the officials. I will go. I will do the training. But I want to come back after. This is still my home. Doyen is still my father. Of course, Taehyun said gently. No one is taking that away. The next 2 weeks were busy. Preparations, packing, goodbyes. Hanul said goodbye to his friends. To his teachers. To the life he had built on the station. Gina cried when they hugged. You will come back, right? Yes, Hanul promised. 4 years. Then I come home. Kwan gave him a gift. It was a small photo album. Pictures of all of them together. So you do not forget us. I could never forget, Hanul said. Minho took Doyen aside one evening. They sat in the cafeteria. Doyen had not been eating much. He looked tired. You are doing the right thing, Minho said. Am I? It feels like I am losing him. You are not losing him. You are setting him free. That is what good parents do. They raise children to be independent, to find their own path, even when it hurts. It hurts a lot, Doyen admitted. I know, but in 4 years he will come back, and he will be amazing, because of what you taught him, because of the foundation you gave him. You gave him roots and wings. Now he gets to fly, Doyen nodded. He knew Minho was right, but knowing did not make it easier. The night before Hanul left, they sat by the window, looking at the stars, like they had done so many times before. I am scared, Hanul said. What if I change too much? What if I come back and we are different? We will change, Doyen said. You will grow. I will age. That is life. But what we have does not change. Love does not change. You will always be my son. I will always be your father. Distance cannot break that. What will you do while I am gone? Hanul asked. Live, work, wait, miss you. But I will be okay. I was alone before. I survived. I will survive again. And I will be here when you return. That is a promise. Hanul leaned against him. Thank you for choosing to keep me. Thank you for being my father. Thank you for letting me go now. Thank you for choosing me that day, Doyen said. You changed my life. You gave me purpose, meaning, love. I am the lucky one. They sat in comfortable silence. The stars shone outside. The universe was vast. but their bond was stronger than distance. The next morning, they went to the docking bay. Lyra was there with her ship. Other Velians waited. Hanul's belongings were already loaded. Lyra approached Doyen. "I will take care of him. I promise. And I will send updates, videos, messages. You will still be part of his life." "Thank you," Doyen said, "and thank you for sharing him with me all these years." "No," Lyra said. "Thank you for loving him, for being what he needed. You will always be his father. That never changes. It was time." Hanul stood before Doyen. He was trying to be brave, but tears ran down his blue cheeks. "I love you," Hanul said. "I love you too," Doyen replied. "More than anything. Be safe, learn everything, become amazing, and then come home to me." They hugged one final time, long and tight. Doyen memorized the feeling, the warmth, the connection. He would need this memory in the lonely months ahead. Then Hanul let go. He picked up his bag. He walked to the ship. At the entrance, he turned and waved. Doyen waved back, smiling through tears. Hanul boarded. The door closed. The engines hummed. The ship lifted and moved away. Doyen watched until it disappeared into the black. Then he was alone. The apartment felt empty when he returned. Too quiet, too still. Hanul's room stood open, bed made, desk clean, waiting. Doyen sat in the living room. The silence pressed against him. For a moment he let himself break. He cried, hard, for the loss, for the loneliness, for the love that hurt so much because it was real. But then he stopped. He wiped his face. He stood up. Because Hanul was counting on him. Hanul needed to know Doyen would be okay, that he was strong enough to handle this. So Doyen would be strong. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Life continued. Doyen worked. He ate, he slept. He lived. It was harder now, emptier, but he managed. Lyra sent updates regularly. Videos of Hanul training. Pictures of him with other students, messages. Hanul was doing well. He was excelling. Growing. Learning. Becoming someone remarkable. And he always ended his messages the same way. "I miss you, Dad. I will come home soon." "I promise." Doyen watched every video multiple times. He read every message. He wrote back, telling Hanul about his days, about the station, about their friends, keeping the connection alive across the stars. 1 year passed, then 2, then 3. Doyen changed during that time. He got grayer. He got quieter, but he also got stronger, more patient. He learned to carry the loneliness without letting it crush him. He stayed busy. He mentored young engineers at work. He volunteered at the school. He helped other parents. He gave back the way others had given to him. It helped. It gave purpose when Hanul was not there to provide it. Minho checked on him often. "You doing okay?" "I am surviving," Doyen would say, one day at a time. "He will be back soon. 1 more year. I know. I am counting the days." In the 4th year, Lyra sent a message. The training was complete. Hanul had passed with highest honors. He was coming home. He would arrive in 1 week. Doyen felt something reawaken in his chest, joy, excitement, hope. His son was coming home. He cleaned the apartment, made Hanul's room perfect, cooked his favorite foods, prepared everything. The week felt like the longest of his life. Finally, the day came. Doyen stood in the docking bay, waiting. His heart pounded. The ship arrived. It landed, the door opened, and Hanul stepped out. He was different, taller, stronger, more confident. He wore robes of a Velian scholar. His glow was brilliant. He looked like a leader, like someone important. But when he saw Doyen, everything else fell away. His face broke into a huge smile. He dropped his bags and ran, just like that first day, running toward the one he chose. Doyen opened his arms. Hanul crashed into him. They hugged tight,